Hey you guys, welcome to Bigo 101. We're gonna be talking about PKs and rebates today. We're really gonna go into how what a PK, what are the types of PKs, and how to really maximize profit in PKs. So this presentation is brought to you by myself, Scotty TV, owner of Beyond Infinity Agency. If you do have any questions on hosting or how to become a host, please visit beyondinfinityagency.com, where you'll find a ton of information about hosting and how to become a host with us here in Beyond Infinity. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video in which we will get into all things PKs, okay? I love to have a lot of fun in my teachings and my training, so don't mind to me, I'm a little crazy, but I definitely like to have a good time here here with you guys. So we're gonna get right into it. What is a PK? A PK brings together multiple hosts together, and kind of builds it into like a live showdown. Like we are about to go in. So you build your support, you get your audience involved, and you're in there, and they're like running you up, sending you beans. And that's helping you in this PK, right? It's like a battle. It's PK stands for partner knockout. So here are a few examples of some captures that I've gotten in the past. Some include me in those PKs. They're very, very fun, and super rewarding. We'll get into where it becomes rewarding, into profits and making money here on Bigo. So you'll see here on the top right, left hand, the first box is a team PK. So there's a few of us there. On the other three boxes, you'll see a one-on-one PK. Two opponents. You'll see the two sides, and you kind of see like who's winning, who's losing, who won, who has lost, and things like that. And we'll get into what this screen kind of looks like retro scale. Okay, so let's talk about what types of PKs is there. There is a line. So a line is not really a PK. It's just a the process in which you begin a PK, if you will. We'll get into what a line is a little bit more into the presentation, and when you're going to be using this line feature. Um, you will also be using a match feature, or can use a match feature, which matches you with people from all over the world, that you're able to network with, build more of a fan base, and even potentially get some people you can potentially do business with in the future. Your next person you match with might be your next family founder. You just never know who you are going to run into on matching. You could run into one of the top broadcasters here on Bigo, and it could really do something good for you and your growth here on Bigo. There are team PK, which you saw in the previous screen. We do have family PKs, which are very similar by 3x3 format, where there is 3 and 3. The difference between a team PK and a family PK, 3x3, is that you do have to have a family badge to participate in most family events, or in these family features like the family 3x3 PK. Then there is the a panel PK, so you could do a panel on a actual PK on a panel, a PK on an actual panel, where you could select I think up to 4 people to go ahead and battle it out on a panel. Super cool way to just again get your viewers kind of involved, and use it, and kind of use them as an incentive to it's an incentive for a PK is really to enable your supporters and your fans to really drive and really look out for you in these situations. Then we have an official Bigo PK, which is a must be signed up for event. And then we have these solo PK events that also have to be signed up for. A solo PK event is exactly what the title kind of like signifies. It's going to be a solo event. It's going to be you on your screen for minimally usually 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the event. The event flyer um, will tell you the requirements of that PK, and which we'll get into in I'm not gonna get into myself or too far. So first, how do you PK? How do you PK? So in this screen, you'll see 3 pictures. The first picture is on the screen that you'll see when you hit the live button on your Bigo Live app. That is what's gonna pop up on your first screen. You're gonna go ahead and click that go live button. You're gonna go completely live. Viewers are gonna be start coming into your room. You're gonna hit the little Pac-Man button on the bottom right hand corner. That is gonna activate your play center. Your play center is where you're gonna find the third screen, where you will find that line feature that we touched on briefly in the previous slide, the match, the team PK, and the fans PK. So with the line feature here, you click the line feature, it's gonna open another window where it's gonna allow you to actually input somebody's Bigo ID. It could be a complete stranger. It could be a Bigo ID of one of your friends. If it is one of your friends, once you hit that line feature and it opens, it's gonna give you a list of all online users that are your friends, that are on your friends list, that you follow, that are currently live, that you can potentially challenge them into a random PK. Then you get the match button, like I said, and I touched on that briefly as well. You just get matched up with just random people on the app. It could be the biggest person on the app. It could be the smallest person on the app. You just never know who you will run into. If you are a music artist, you are a DJ, and you just happen to come across a producer, you might just be you just might be opening up more doors for you and your talent or whatever you have to showcase. So super super important to learn how to maneuver and how to PK. Once you hit that team PK button, you are able to select the option to invite others to join you in this team PK. So a fans PK is a PK where your fans are actually in the comments, battling it out, sending you gifts, and whoever sends you the most gifts wins the fans PK. But you're getting all those gifts while they're battling it out, and they do get like a little small bean reward for whoever wins that fan PK. Okay, so this is how to go live or how to PK. How to actually get started, and we'll go into a little bit more, and by the end of the presentation you'll be able to just tie how to PK and how to PK nice and accurately, and we'll get into that. So the next thing we're going to get into is agency PK, which we're going to discuss mostly here in this agency training. So here we have four different type of PKs, agency PKs. There could be family PKs as well, but in this case we are just speaking about agencies. So the first box we have here is the rebated PK. We have the win and lose PK, we have a participation PK, and then we have the legacy events PK. So the rebated PKs would normally have like a rebate percentage, so usually like a 80, 90, 70, 60, 40, 30%. Then we have the video games week PK here, which is a win or lose PK. So it's a minimum requirement usually to qualify for a reward. If you win and meet the minimum requirement, which we'll get into in a few. Then we have a participation PKs. We have participation PKs, so you just literally just show up to these PKs, and you get free beans from them. Then we have legacy events, which are continuous events that Bigo has monthly. They normally don't change. Usually, like the picture will change, but nothing usually dramatically changes. Pretty much all the same. All these agency PKs you're gonna find on the link on the bottom of this slide, which is www.bigo.live. Here is going to be the home of all agency PKs. This is going to be a new way that Bigo now lets us sign up for PKs. So, your agency might not send out these all like 20 messages a day anymore with all different type of PKs. We most likely will be redirecting you onto the onbigo.live website, which has way more PKs than we actually even get in our WhatsApp chats as agency leaders. So please make sure that you guys save that, add it to your home screen. I'll show you how that looks in a few, but definitely onbigo.live. Okay. So our next slide, we're going to go into agency PKs, the legacy PKs. So we touched on it in the previous slide. Here we're going to go a little bit more in depth into legacy PKs. PKs that are continuous, that normally don't change, and usually come from month to month. So the Impossible Star Box is a PK that has been on here since I started Bigo. The Friendly PK as well. We have the Community Theme PK, which is the average theme PK. We have the September theme PK, which is a newer for top host. Is a newer PK into the legacy PKs. She requires a little bit more points. So if you are a top host or a popular host that gets a lot of peer support, maybe this is a PK you might be interested in. Um, we have the Canadian Starbucks PK that only Canadian hosts can sign up for, and then we have the Ultimate Challenge PK on the bottom right hand side. In that Ultimate Challenge PK, um, you have to hit certain tiers to be able to qualify for a certain rebate. So once again, the link on the bottom of the slideshow also will to bring you to Bigo.live. So just to go to that page, go ahead and click and add it to your home screen so you're able to just have it accessible to you on the go. Cool. So then we are going to go into signing up for the agency PK. So here is my home screen, and you will see that I did set Bigo Live on my home screen. So whenever I need to sign up for a PK, I can just go ahead and click it. It'll bring me right up to the link. Bring it up, open up. Super intuitive, very easy to read. I'm gonna go ahead and here and select the all September events. I'm just gonna scroll through here. You'll see all these events. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the Crazy in Love PK because I love me my queen bee. And this is a pretty good rebate. You're gonna head and scroll down on this form. You're gonna put your Bigo ID, your agency's name, your family name if you have one, PK dates and times, and the days that the PK and times are listed there. So you select the time that best fits your schedule, your WhatsApp number, and your agency leader's WhatsApp number, which should be provided to you by your agency leader. If you're in my agency, you have that information on Discord. So please make sure that you are checking on the Discord for this information, because if you are in my agency, it's in the Discord. All right. Once you hit agree, you submit. You go ahead and we wait until 2 days before the PK comes out to go ahead and check the lineup. So here on the lineup, which again will be in the agency chat. If you are in my agency, here on the lineup on the top, you'll see a row of things like dates. So today, tomorrow, in 2 days, a live house schedule. Here is where you'll select the time that you will that you're looking for your PK. So if your PK is today, we are in the today's tab. We're just gonna like scroll in here and we're gonna look for the time. We're gonna look for the event, and we're gonna look for the opponent or my name, your Bigo ID, and your opponent's name. Once you have that opponent's name, you're gonna use that feature that we talked about earlier, the line feature, to go ahead and invite that opponent to the PK at the time that it specifies here in this lineup. The lineup is Central Time. Pacific Time. So it does centralize more on like just the West Side, California time, PST. So if you're in EST, you are in CST. Please make sure that you are filling out these forms and looking for the time in PST and not in your time. And let's say you're not on the lineup, it's because you didn't get approved for the PK. Ways to really kind of like give it a better emphasis of getting approved for your PK would be applying for the PK 4 days in advance. I feel like helps me kind of like guarantee a spot in a PK. Then you go ahead and check for your lineup, and you check for your name. You find your opponent's name. You go ahead and line that person at the time of the event. You do your event for 20 minutes. All PK standard is 20 minutes. So just make sure that that's correct, and you should be on your way to winning that PK. So then in the next slide here, we're going to be discussing the PK requirements. So on these flyers, you're going to see different requirements for different type of PKs. We're going to start with this one on the left, which is the Cherish Your Ancestors PK. It is a win or lose PK with a 3,000 being reward, 500 being reward for the loser, and a minimal 20,000 PK points per player, right? Which means we would need 20,000 PK points to be able to qualify for this PK. To qualify, not win. To qualify. So the tip here is take away a 0 from the minimum required PK points to know how many beans are required to be thrown on you. So we're going to do the example one with the 20,000 minimum PK points. If we take away one of those zeros, that is 2,000. So we would need 2,000 beans to go ahead and be able to go for this PK. The example 2 is 21,000 minimum points. So we take away again that 0 and we divide by 10. That gives us 2,100 beans required to go ahead and qualify to win this PK. If somebody throws more on the other side, then your side must throw more and must throw more, and you guys are gonna have to go tit for tat until somebody wins the PK, and then you'll get a 3,000 being reward. Keep in mind these are not PKs that you typically want to sign up for a lot, because you just don't get a high rebate or a high reward. 3,000 beans is not much. You know, you think about the 20K that you need, you would need 2K to just qualify, and maybe like 5K to maybe win it. So at those moments, like, are these PKs profitable? And are they smart business decisions? So just think about those things when signing up for them. Not all, but some. So keep that in mind. So these are PK requirements for like a win or lose. And then we're gonna go into the PK requirements for like a rebated PK. So it's a little bit more into a little bit more mathematical thing, which is super important that you need to know. Is let's just start with the left hand side, which is the metal is not dead at 80% beans rebate. Loser gets what is that, 10%, and then we have a max at 30,000 beans reward. So we're gonna take that 30,000 beans reward because we wanna be able to take this PK. We wanna max it out. When people say max it out, this is what they mean. So we're gonna take that 30,000 beans reward. We're gonna divide that by the percentage of the PK, which is 80%. We're gonna do 0.80. That's gonna give us 37,500 beans, right? That is what we need to be thrown on us to be able to win or to max out this PK and get the reward of 30,000 beans. So let's say that again. We have this metal is not dead PK here on the left hand side. It is at an 80% rebate, 30,000 being max reward. 30,000 divided by 0.80 being the percentage of the PK gives me 37,500 beans. That means that I need 37,500 beans to be thrown to me on this PK for me to max it out and get a 30,000 being reward. So this 37,000 is going into your wallet directly at that PK. That rebate of 30,000 is gonna come in two to 3 weeks as a rebate, as a reward in your account, because it is a free kind of incentive for hitting this max. You know what I'm saying? So let's go into the breakfast and bacon at the right side. So we have the 90% rebate at a 40,000 bean max reward. So we take that 40,000 max reward. We're gonna divide it by the 90% of the PK. And it's gonna give us 44,444 beans, meaning we would need 44,444 beans in order to be able to max out this particular 90% PK. Once you get these rebates, this is when you make the right decisions to whether you gonna trade this in other PKs to max more. The more you do, the more rebates you get, the more higher tiers you could potentially hit. So now let's go into making every PK valid. So every PK that you do, whether it's an official PK that you sign up for or just a regular line, can be a valid PK that can earn combat. It can earn combat if the minimal PK point has been met, which is 3,000 PK points. Like we said before, if you take away one of those zeros, that leaves us with 300 beans. We would need 300 beans to make any PK valid. When you make a PK valid, it builds combat, and you can have combat. Once you hit combat, you build this leaderboard, which we won't get into today, but it is because it's not really PK related right at this moment. But it's super important to know, and we'll definitely discuss that at a later time. It is the battle PK pillage over in the Bigo app in the Play Center, and you could track that at your own convenience. So our next slide here is going to be calculating rebates using the PK history. So a lot of people are like, Scotty, I did not max out this PK, but I did do it 90%. I did win, but I didn't max it. So how do I know, like, what is my rebate going to be for? I could plan for that, and you could kind of write that in your notes. When you sign up for a PK, and you, as soon as you hit submit and it says, hey, it's submitted, you need to write that down on your notepad, on your phone, on your computer, or wherever, for you could just have that in mind, because you just need to know what PK and what rebate you're really expecting. So how do you do that? You're gonna go ahead and go live. It's gonna be the first box over there on the left hand side. That middle button says PK. Hit PK. It's gonna bring you to that second box on the bottom where it's a little clock. Once you hit that clock, it's gonna bring you to the screen right here next to me. In that screen, it will give you your PK history. So we're gonna go based off of that first one. Theoretically, let's just say we did a 90%. That was me against this person named Geraldo. I did get 10,000 PK points. Again, if we take off one of those zeros or we divide that by 10, it will give us 1,000, right? 1,000. So I received 1,000 beans in that PK, and that was a 90% PK. So if we do the math at this 90% rate, let's do the 1,000 times 0.90, we will get 900 beans back and a rebate for free. So that's how you do that math. Let's just say if you didn't max it out, because the math that we did earlier is just to max it out and get the whole reward. Sometimes that might be harder for people to reach. So these are just ways that you're able to just know, like, hey, if I'm able to like trade this, can I win this? Never make investments without, if you're not really sure, please get with the agency owner or myself to kind of make the right decision when it comes to strategizing high rebated PKs, because they are an investment for sure. So I hope that was pretty easy to understand. You just go live, hit that PK button, hit the little clock. It's gonna give you a PK history. That's when you're able to say after you did the PK whether the PK was one valid. It might not be valid if if you didn't hit the 3K mark, but you might still qualify for a rebate because that doesn't really matter for your rebate. Okay, so now we're gonna go into how do you win these PKs? How do you how can you set up for these PKs? How do I win these PKs without putting any money on the app? And that's by using, at this moment in your time on Bigo, you should be already building this level of support where if you have a PK, there should be at least some people there to support you. And if there's not, then you just need to just keep networking more. And by using that match feature, you could just get a hold of all these different types of people to be able to support you in these PKs. So how to win PKs without investing into the app? Trading. So you trade what you have done received. So if you have been on the app for 2 months and you have some stuff built up in your wallet and you would like to see maybe a bigger return, you could always do some trading on these high rebated PKs to get the maximum. So trading in a PK means that you take whatever you have in beans, you convert it into diamonds, and whatever you have in those diamonds, you do the math. 1,000 maces, which is 1,000 diamonds, one diamond per mace, 1,000 maces. That is 1,000. 1,000 diamonds, 1,000 beans that somebody can throw you, or you can throw on them at a PK. So you don't ever want to trade on panels. You don't want to trade on things that are just not making you any money. It doesn't pay to go do a 5 shield trade on a panel. It just doesn't pay. Do the 5K trade on a high rebated PK. Your opponent might not max it. That gives you 50,000 combat points. If we take that 5,000 and multiply that by the 90%, we're almost getting about 4,000 of those beans back for free. So again, it's just little simple, small equations that you should know at this point when you're doing business. And if you don't, you just need to get with me or your agency owner and get into it with these type of numbers. So please reach out to me if you do want to take part of any high rebated PKs, and we can strategize and plan for them accordingly, whether it's with your family, within the agency, but we'll definitely get you kind of more comfortable in those high rebated PKs. So, once now we know now we know what a PK is. We know the types of PKs are out there. We know how to sign up for the PK. We know how to check the lineup for the PK. Now we just want to see we won the PK, and now we're waiting for the rebate. Rebates are gonna come 2 to 3 weeks into your wallet. You're gonna see on this bottom screen here. You're gonna click on this middle part, which is beans. You're gonna click on the right hand side. It shows a little notepad. That notepad will open up this screen over here. In this screen, you'll see like a history of all like rewards that was distributed into one's account. Small numbers, big numbers. But if let's say if we did max out that 80% Meadows Not Dead that we discussed before, and we were expecting a 30,000 being reward, we should expect a 30,000 being reward here in this list. So keep that in mind. These are just ways to kind of check where your rebate is, if it has arrived, and if it did arrive, did it arrive correctly? If you do have errors with PK's rebates, you just need to reach out to your agency owner to get that squared away. Um, and that's pretty much it for receiving rebates. So that concludes this class. I hope that you guys definitely learned a few things, and if there's anything on this class that you want to go over a little bit more in depth, I will be sending you guys a Calendly link for you could schedule a one-on-one with me. Please have your like questions ready for we could just get right into it. PKs, might be intimidating at first, but once you understand these numbers, it's very, very smooth, and it's just a very good process if you stay organized, and you stay consistent, and you build your networking, you build your support. It's the most important thing when you're in a PK and you're winning off of peer support. It's always good. So I'll catch you guys at the next training.